business on the job, we're here to help. That's what we do. Hey, we're about keeping the dream alive. And Blair in North Carolina is a survivor, and she's going after her American dream.
In January 2005, I was diagnosed with breast cancer after the birth of my little girl, Dylan.
Thank you, Dylan.
I remember after the surgery calling my dad crying hysterically, worrying about who was going to take care of my baby. He said, "Blair, you have early-stage breast cancer, you're strong, the cancer is gone, and whenever you think a negative thought about anything, starve it. Don't think about it." Since that moment, I pulled up my bootstraps and I never looked back. With my husband's encouragement, I started my own natural cosmetics line due to my hair and skin being all dried out due to cancer treatment. My main target market is people who are going through a tough time from medicinal use from cancer treatment.
All right, Blair, before we get to business, how are you feeling?
Just hearing that, it just gets me all choked up because it was such a tough time, but now it's a good time, so I'm here on your show, and that's proof positive that you can bring something positive out of a negative.
That's what it's all about, and I got to tell you, that is the essence of who you are and so many great stories. How can we help keeping that dream alive for you?
Well, the funny thing is that I started this whole business because someone had given me some personal care products for my scars and for my dried hair, marketed towards cancer people, and I looked at the back. Something told me to look at the back of the bottle, and I couldn't pronounce half of the things on the bottle. And the last thing you want when you're young and you have a baby and you're trying to keep cancer away is put chemicals on your body to make it worse. So I went to the library, I researched and came up with my own stuff, and I ended up using it for a year before my husband actually said, "You know, Blair, whatever you're doing to your hair and your scars, it looks really good." And that's when I showed him the stuff. I mean, I had even kept it from my husband until it started working, because I didn't want him thinking, okay, well, she's throwing all of our money into all kinds of freaky oils and strange things. And
well, first of all, the great news, I understand you're cancer-free, so that's fantastic. Congratulations. You look like such a delightful, wonderful, wonderful woman. And the essence of how you built your product is the essence of how so many, we have a saying here, there's got to be a better way. You just found there was a need of yours not being met, and you created a product. Exactly. The interesting thing, when we see your product, when I turn over the Power Council, it's called Pristine Recovery. The issue is, do you not just necessarily market it, obviously, to cancer survivors? That's what gives it its credibility. But is there a broader market out there? I know, Sarah Blakely, you were better at kicking down doors than anybody. You've got a great story how you got Spanx off the ground. I know she's trying to get into Sephora with this stuff. So first, tell me the story about, nobody was interested in your Spanx and how you got a buyer to buy it.
Right. I actually dragged the buyer into the bathroom with me. I had no shame, I said, "You've got to come with me." I put my Spanx on with my white pants, showed her before and after, so I put my own butt on the line. And that's what you got to do. And, I love that you're taking this situation and turning it into a positive, Blair. And your emotional story, don't underestimate your own story, okay? Because there are other natural lines out there, but no one has your story and no one is you. And I really want to make sure you don't underestimate that when you go to Sephora and you go and you've got to get your image and your story and word out there.
Troy, is it, I know she's sensitive about being exploitive, if you will, but I agree that this is the story, and don't hide it, and not a matter of exploitive, but just walk into it and embrace it, because not only is it who you are, but it gives credibility to the product.
Blair's friend, this is my life. I mean, hearing you tell this story. I have an 11-year-old daughter who's been battling cancer since she was 7. We've done the whole chemotherapy and surgery, all the things I know you've been through.
I'm sorry.
And no, don't be sorry. You didn't give it to her. She, like you, is a survivor and a thriver, and she inspires me, and I'm inspired by you. And I'm grateful, as the family member of a cancer survivor, that there are people like you who are developing products like this. And let me tell you, from a business standpoint, there's no exploiting this, because you're a solution waiting for the problem. And I'm telling you, the problem is here, and you're absolutely right, and you're spot on. And from a market standpoint, a survey just came out that said 1 in 3 Americans will have some form of cancer in their lifetime. That's a big market. Right. And as you know, from being in the same world that I've lived in, the cancer world, we find each other, don't we? And we're in groups by the tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands, and all you need to do is be more vocal, as Donny has just encouraged you to do, to be more vocal about this cancer. Listen, you're not ashamed of having had cancer. I'm proud of the fact that our family has survived it. So let's take you forward, and let's take the product you've created and share with all those of us who would love it.
Right.
Blair,
I agree. Thank
Blair,
you. Yes.
Don't hide from it. Walk right into it. You have a business there, and it's authentic, and it's real. And I just, on a personal note, want to say, you know, you are a survivor. You are strong. I feel it. And thank you for coming on and talking about some very, very personal stuff, because I think you're going to inspire a lot of people.
Thank you so much, Donny.